Hi everybody. Welcome to or welcome back to YiaYia's Heart Tarot. Today I'm here to bring you midweek messages. I will be bringing these to you every Wednesday. They may be messages from departed loved ones, friends, or acquaintances. They may be from spirit guides, guardian angels, or ascended masters, or even from the divine. But no matter who they're from, they are messages to help you get through your week. So, let's get started. Today's reading will be a pick-a-card reading, because we all lead very different lives and we need different guidance. Hopefully, this way I can reach as many as possible with words of wisdom for your week. So, group number 1 will be this group, which has 3 coins. Group number 1, 3 coins. Group number 2 is Pliers. And group number 3 is a bookmark. The characters on the bookmark translate to center your heart and cultivate your spirit, which is a Chinese proverb. So group number 1, coins. Group number 2, pliers. And group number 3, bookmark. The groups will each have a timestamp in the description below. So once you choose a group to go directly to your reading, simply drop down into the description and click on the timestamp that corresponds to your group, and it will take you directly to your reading. However you are comfortable choosing a reading is perfect for you. Center yourself. If you always pick a particular reading, that's fine too. However, whatever calls to you, take a moment and decide which reading you wish to choose. Certainly you can listen to more than one reading, and I will see you at your reading. Hi Group 1, this is your reading. This is the reading with the 3 coins. Let's see, what deck do we want to use? I think this one. We'll start with this one, see how this goes. So, weekly readings are readings to help you with any issues that you have found cropping up in your week so far. Initially we will draw a card to define what issues you may have that you're dealing with this week that you could use some help with. So Spirit, could you please provide us some messages for Group 1, the coins group, with regard to issues that they might be dealing with this week that they would like some help with? Okay, Group 1. Interesting start. We got the 5 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords. So you're dealing with some heartache, which has left you feeling isolated. I don't know if this is like major heartache for a major relationship, or perhaps this is just a slight from someone maybe at work. It could be that someone that you thought was on your side took someone else's side that you didn't agree with. And you felt kind of left out because of that. It was probably it was someone that you always thought that you could count on to take your side in something, but they didn't. And so now you're feeling really sort of betrayed, and you're feeling just really sort of very outcast. And it is something that is really weighing very heavily on you. This might be with regard to a money matter, that this individual didn't back you up. It could be a matter of a relationship that someone, perhaps they said something that you thought put you in a bad light in front of someone that you were maybe trying to impress, or someone who made you feel insecure. It could be that perhaps your partner didn't stand up for you with regard to a disagreement with perhaps your father. So you are possibly, you may be torn between a conflict, mother and father. It could be something that your father is criticizing you for, or a father figure is criticizing you for, and your mother, or a nurturing mother figure, is taking your side, which is potentially driving a wedge or creating a conflict between you and a spouse, or you and a friend, or you and a sibling. Also very possible. So that's the situation that's going on with you right now. This week, that is something that you'd like a little help with. So Spirit, what is Group 1 hoping to accomplish? What are they hoping to accomplish? Okay, so we got the Queen of Pentacles, we got the Page of Swords, and we got the Six of Swords. So basically, what you're hoping to accomplish is just to make this go away, to make this issue go away. You want to bring back a sense of harmony. You basically would like to just make it all go away. You'd like to make it go away. You'd like to just start fresh. You wish that it had never been said or never been done, or whatever the situation was that created this wedge, this division that left you feeling kind of on the outside. You really, really would like to just make that go away, get a clean start from the whole thing, and just bring everybody back to a place where the family is whole, or the group is whole, or the workplace feels solid. You just want to get back to a more solid space that feels inclusive to everyone. You don't want to get revenge. You don't want to make the other person look bad. Nothing like that. You just would like to have this all just go away, and just everybody kind of get back to business as usual and feeling comfortable around each other. That's the biggest thing. There's a feeling of discomfort now. There's this feeling of awkwardness. There's this feeling of some simmering anger, perhaps, feeling hurt. And you want that you just want it to go away, and just everybody get back to where things feel normal and things feel solid again. That's what you'd like to accomplish. So Spirit, what is Group 1 doing right now that's working for them in this situation? What are they doing that's working? What is Group 1 doing that is working for them? Working for the situation to make things better. Okay, so we got the Queen of Rods. So what you're doing right now that's working for the situation is you're just moving ahead. You're not wallowing in the situation. You're not ruminating about it. You're not opening it up with other people again. You're not rehashing what went on. You're just going to move forward. You're going to just do basically kind of acting business as usual, and you're not holding any grudges, and you're not punishing anyone, you're not demeaning anyone, you're just moving forward with things as though this didn't happen. You're kind of just going to, not make anybody feel bad, with the hope that just by getting back into your usual routine, that things will sort of work their own way out. So Spirit, what is Group 1 doing that is not working for this situation for them? What are they doing that's not working? Okay. Well, we got the King of Rods now. So the Queen of Rods is moving forward and going ahead with things, but the Queen of Rods is doing so in a very motherly sort of a way. She's still looking out for all of her children. She's still including everyone in the activities. She's being nurturing and inclusive. But what the King of Rods is doing, the King of Rods is moving forward, and he is going to, make everything conform to the letter of the law. He's going to enforce all the rules. He's going to make everyone understand what they did wrong, and he's going to make things fit and move ahead and be organized and efficient. And he's going to move ahead. He's going to go ahead with things, but he's going to do it in a way that by the book. He is going to be by the book. And so if that's what you're doing, or if you are trying to hold people accountable for what they did before, for what they did in this situation, if you're working really hard to make them see the error of their ways, or to make them feel bad for what they did, or to drag an apology out of someone, that's not working. That's not going to work for you. It's really not necessary. You don't know what their motivation was, but it could be that it was just something that they slipped up. They didn't really mean to do it. They didn't realize that it would upset you or hurt you or whatever. So by moving ahead, but while moving ahead, making sure that everyone else is aware of their mistakes, and making sure that they come clean, that's just not going to work. That's not going to work at all. So kind of ease up on that if you can. So let's see. What is your gut trying to tell you about this situation? What is Group 1's gut telling them about the situation? Okay. So we got the Page of Rods. Okay, so we've gotten the Page, the Queen, and the King of Rods. So this suit is about inspiration and movement and action. So, it's very clear. This message is very clear that you don't want to get stuck in this happening, in this energy of feeling wronged or feeling slighted. You kind of want to, your gut is telling you to, your gut's telling you to just basically kind of start over, start fresh. That's kind of what we looked at up here. What you're hoping to accomplish is just to make things more normal. So this is saying just sort of erase whatever happened here and start fresh. Do move forward with inclusion. Don't move forward with blame, but do move forward and just make the situation fresh. Start anew, start fresh, start again. Nothing is so irreparably damaged that you can't move forward from this. Also, we got the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles is a very, very abundant card. It's a very whole card. It's a very loving card, basically. It's just basically kind of saying that your family or your group or whatever is whole and abundant and can work together. And so, basically your gut is telling you that if you just move ahead and make this into a new situation, just move ahead. Don't ruminate on this situation. Don't get stuck in it. The that it will, you know that this group, whatever this is, if this is family, if this is a work group, if this is a relationship, if this is a friend group, whatever this is, you know that this group can work together. And you know that this group can stay together and be happy together and be abundant and fruitful and all the things that come with having, you know, a happy home and a happy life. You know that that's the case. You just have to move out of this energy. Don't get stuck feeling like you've been done a wrong. Don't get stuck feeling like you are, don't get stuck in victim. Don't get stuck in victim mentality. That's what this is saying. So, Spirit, what advice do the departed want to offer to group one? What advice do the departed wish to offer to group one? Let's make some room here. This is kind of a big spread. Okay, what advice did the departed or what advice do the departed or spirit guides or whoever from the other side have to offer for group one? Okay. Okay, so the cards that we got are the Seven of Swords, the Empress, and the Eight of Pentacles. So the message that your loved ones or the departed or your spirit guides or whoever's coming through for you, what the message they're telling you is, don't get stuck in trying to, don't try to escape the situation, don't try to sneak away, don't try to hide or carry all the burden yourself. And don't try to be subversive about this. Don't try to be don't try to win at all costs. They're just basically saying, you know, don't make this into a big deal. Just go back to what has always worked for you and for this group of people. You know, kind of go back to your baseline. I get the feeling that this group has always worked well together. They've always been able to get along. They've always been able to accomplish whatever they needed to accomplish. They've gotten along together. They've worked together. They just are cohesive. So this is saying go back to that that worked for you. Don't get stuck in being shady about the situation or feeling left out, feeling the victim again. And it's also saying that you need to go back to before whatever the slight was that happened, that made you feel bad, that wounded your heart, that made you feel left out. Go back and remember the love that you have for these people, the affection that you have for these people. Whatever it is that held this group together before, you know, don't let this one instance pull that apart. Don't focus on the care and the love and the attachments within this group. Focus on the good times that you've had, the nurturing that you've had for each other, and you know, go back to that place. Utilize that emotion. Go back to the way you've done things before with each other in the past, and don't get stuck in this victim mentality. So Spirit, what is the best way for group one to proceed? What is the best way for them to proceed now? Okay, so now we've got the entire court of the rods. We've got the Knight of Rods now, and the Knight of Rods is about moving forward, and rods are about like physical movement, not thinking about things, not being overly emotional about things. They're about the actual act of doing, the actual act of moving. So again, we're getting the message that go ahead, move on, move forward. Don't get stuck in this. This isn't about thinking about what happened. This isn't about feeling what happened. This is just about moving forward. Just move on. Don't get stuck in this. It wasn't as big a deal as it seemed like it might be. And here exactly is the verification of that. The Chariot, all about moving on. So just move on. Whatever the situation that's got you thinking that there's this huge tear in the relationships that are involved in this situation, that you are shunned from this group. I really feel like this is a group of people and you are feeling like you're on the outside now all of a sudden. Don't get stuck there. Don't get caught up in that. I feel like it wasn't meant the way you took it. And it certainly had the potential. It's not that you made something out of it that it wasn't. It's not that you made a mountain out of a molehill necessarily. I think that people were perhaps just focused on another side of the issue, and they didn't realize, when they addressed an issue over here, that it left you out over here. I think that was kind of what happened. They didn't realize what an impact that it might have on you. And so anyway, what the best way for you to proceed now is just to move on forward, and there's really no sense in holding back. There's no sense in trying to get apologies or trying to get make people understand how bad they made you feel, because I think as you move forward through this and people come to realize kind of on their own, they're going to come to you and they're going to say, hey, we're really sorry that this made you feel bad. We didn't mean it that way at all, and we would never want to do that. So moving on forward, just moving through the situation is going to be the best way for you to handle this, because it's going to open up a space where people can come to you and say, wow, I didn't even realize when we said that, when we did that, whatever the situation was, whatever happened, we didn't realize that it was going to be so hard on you. There may be some circumstance in your life that has to do with what happened that they're just not even aware of. It could be something that happened to you in a previous relationship, or it could be something that happened to you in your childhood, and you may not have even realized it was going to impact you as much as it did. So don't get caught up. Don't dwell in that part of it, how it happened to you, how it looked to you. Just move on forward with it. Get back to business as usual. Get back to the way you've always been together. And that's going to open up some space for those people to realize that you may have been hurt, and to come to you and to nurture you, to give you this nurturing with this Empress card here. That's what they're going to be able to do when you go ahead and move forward and don't hold this against them. So Spirit, what are some signs for Group 1 to look for to know that they're on the right path with this situation? What are some signs that they can watch for that'll tell them that they're on the right path, that they're making the right moves, that they're doing the right thing, that universe has got their back? What can they look for? What signs will they be able to see? Alright, so we got the Four of Cups, we got the Death card, and we got the Five of Cups. So we have got a theme of cups here, but they are not cups that are being filled up. They're cups that are either flowing out, that are either running out, or they are just sitting. They're not being filled up. So something to look for could be a spilled cup or a spilled bottle, any sort of a vessel that's holding fluid that gets spilled. If you see that happen, say you walk into the break room, or you walk into your kitchen, or you go into the quick shop, or you're at a restaurant or something, and something gets dropped or spilled, and liquid gets spilled, then that's a sign to you that you are on the right path. Something else, there is red in these cards, so the color red may have a significance for you. A white rose, there is a white rose here, as well as there is a ivy type vine here. So if you happen to notice perhaps some vining roses, climbing roses somewhere. If you happen to pass someplace and you notice that there's climbing roses there that you've never noticed before, that's a sign that you're on the right track. If you go a different route than you do every day, let's say you typically go a particular way to work, and one day that way is closed, and so you have to go a different route. And on that different route, whether it be walking or whether it be driving, you see vining roses climbing up a trellis or the side of a building or something. That's a sign to you. That's a sign that you're on the right path. It could be something to do with harvesting or gardening. Obviously, this time of year, there's not a lot of harvesting going on, but perhaps this is cutting down weeds. If somebody, if you are driving along and there is perhaps road crew that's out cutting weeds down, or if you go into somebody's garage and you see that they've got a scythe there, or they've got some sort of gardening equipment that reminds you of this, that could be a sign. Let's see, we have got yellow, red, and blue. Yellow, red, and blue are primary colors. So if you are seeing these three colors, which this is really kind of interesting, the sky in each one of these is a different color, yellow, red, and blue. It's not typical that you see a red sky or a yellow sky. So yellow, red, and blue. So if you see the three primary colors grouped together, maybe you're stopped at a stop sign, or you're driving on the highway and a red car and a yellow car and a blue car pass you right next to each other. They're right next to each other or one behind the other. Maybe you see someone has a flag somewhere that has yellow, red, and blue on it, or maybe someone in your office comes to talk with you and their outfit is all yellow, red, and blue. So if you see these three primary colors together, yellow, red, and blue, that's a sign to you that you're on the right direction, that you're going the right way, that you're doing the right thing. So watch out for those items to let you know that you are following the right path. Just looking to see if there's anything else here that jumps out at me. Not really. I think that the primary colors is a big one. You may see like a license plate that has yellow, red, and blue on it. You might see any number of things that have yellow, red, and blue. So, and finally, what outcome, Spirit, can Group 1 look forward to? What outcome can they look forward to, please? What will be the outcome of this situation for them? Whew. Okay, we got the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Moon. So, the outcome, and here again we've got another rose, so roses may again be a sign for you. The Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, there's going to be some clarity coming to you, and it will bring about kind of some closure to this situation. You're going to perhaps see what it was that caused this situation that I feel like you don't really, I feel like you're kind of in the dark about what started this whole situation or why people did what they did. The outcome of this, among other things, will be that you're going to get clarity of what caused this situation, and it's going to bring some closure to the situation and bring you kind of back to that place that we talked about where everybody is solid, everybody's good. And this again is saying, that you're going to come back to and start out again in that place where things are solid, in that place where things are, everything is just, it just flows together right. It fits. It's gonna get back to the place where this group, whatever this group is, fits just fine. You're going to get back to business as usual, or you're going to get back to the great family gatherings, or you're going to get back to hanging out with the friend group, whatever this group is for you. the outcome is going to be that you're going to understand what happened, and by gaining that understanding, you're not going to be so hurt about it, because you're going to realize that they were looking at things from a completely different point of view than what you thought. And so they hadn't aimed this at you, and they didn't mean to leave you out. They didn't mean to exclude you or ostracize you or whatever. So you'll gain that clarity, you'll see that, and that's going to bring you back to where you no longer have this hurt feelings, because of what had happened. So let's take a look and see what card we got originally when we started out. Okay, the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups, this is wonderful. So the Three of Cups is the card that we got, that was the card that I pulled before the reading to signify your group. And the Three of Cups is all about celebrating with your friends. So yes, this is all going to clear itself up. You're going to understand what happened. It's going to be a big misunderstanding, and everybody's going to feel bad that they hurt your feelings. You're going to be okay with what happened because you realize that it was just a misunderstanding. They didn't intend this to happen to you at all. And it's going to be, not only is it going to bring things back to where everybody is back to square one and being okay with each other, it's actually going to bring you closer, because you're going to realize that it would, you felt really hurt when you thought that you were excluded from this group, and so that makes you realize, and that makes them realize how important you are to each other. So that's what's going to end up happening with this situation. So group one, I hope that helps you with your week, and I hope that your week ends on a wonderful note, and good luck with that, and I wish you well. Bye. Hi group 2, this is your reading, the Pliers group, and messages in the midweek reading are to help you get through your week. So the first card that we're going to draw is to get messages on what issues are you dealing with this week that you could use help with. So Spirit, could you please provide us messages for group 2 on what issues they're dealing with this week that they would like some help with? What issues are they dealing with that could use some help? Okay, so we got the Ten of Wands, and we got the Judgment card, and we got the High Priestess. So you are feeling like you are really under some pressure. I feel like you're working on a task right now that you feel like if you don't get it done on time, and if you don't do it properly, it could cost you a lot. I also feel like it's a task that you are feeling a little bit like either it's not fair to that it's expected of you to do this, or that you don't feel really confident that you have what it takes to get this done. You may not feel like you have the resources that you need. You just might feel like you don't know enough to do whatever this is that's being asked of you. Or maybe you just don't have enough time. But with this High Priestess card here, I'm feeling like you are feeling like you don't... I feel like whatever this task is that's being asked of you is something that you really... It's not your area of expertise. It's not what you do. It's not what you know. And you're feeling like you're being expected to do something that you're not qualified for or educated for, or It's just not really in your job description. So right now you're feeling like this is really a heavy burden and pretty much an unfair burden to you. So Spirit, what is group 2 hoping to accomplish? What are they hoping to accomplish? Okay. Okay. So we got the 2 of Swords, and then the Princess and the Queen of Cups. 2 of Swords and the Princess and the Queen of Cups. So what you're really hoping is that you can get this task done without stepping on anybody's toes, without hurting anybody's feelings, and actually it may not be so much that you can get this task done, but that you can bring it to the attention of whoever it is that's expecting you to do this task, that it really is not something that you are equipped to make this decision or to do this task. You're feeling like you are sort of damned if you do and damned if you don't. You feel like if you don't get this task done, it will cause problems for you. But if you do it and you do it wrong, it's also going to cause problems, and not only for you, but for whoever else is depending on you to get this done. But you really feel like you're kind of between a rock and a hard place, because you don't feel like you can do whatever it is that you're being asked to do or being expected to do. And so you would like to communicate that without hurting anybody's feelings, without emotions running too high, without somebody getting really angry with you, without you getting angry at them. You'd like to be able to communicate this without losing your temper, because right now you're kind of feeling like that it's unfair that you're being asked to do this, and it's making you pretty upset. Upset with the individuals who have given you this task. You don't feel that it's fair of them to ask you to do this, and they seem to not care whether you think it's fair or not. They're just expecting you to get it done. So you're really hoping to communicate to them that you don't feel like this is fair. You don't feel like you can win either way, but you don't want to lose your temper, and you don't want them to get angry with you either. So that's what you're hoping to accomplish. So Spirit, for group 2, what are they doing that is working for the situation? What are they doing right now that is working for the situation? Okay. Okay, so we got lots and lots and lots of wands. We got the 4 of wands, we got the 8 of wands, we got the 2 of wands. So what you're doing right now that's working for you is to put some effort into this task. You are actually trying to accomplish something, and you are moving forward with what you do feel like you can accomplish, what you feel like you have the ability to accomplish, what you feel solid about. You are moving forward with that. You're moving ahead with it. You're working on it. You're doing as much as you can with the part of the task that you feel comfortable doing. So that's what's working for you right now. So Spirit, what is group 2 doing that is not working for them right now? What are they doing that's not working for them? Okay, so we got the 2 of Cups and we got the Prince of Cups. So right now, what's not working for you is getting overly emotional about this, perhaps even a little petulant. If you're letting your emotions overwhelm you, and maybe even getting a little childish about this isn't fair, stomping your feet, digging in, that sort of thing. Maybe not outwardly, but perhaps that's how you feel inside. So if you're feeling that way, if you're getting too emotional, if you're letting your emotions run away with you, and actually by becoming too emotional, you're actually getting in a place where you can't accomplish as much as you probably could if you just kind of went about this with a more level head. So that's what's not working for you right now. Becoming too emotional about the situation, becoming angry about the situation, becoming petulant or upset about the situation, that's not working for you right now. So, Spirit, what is Group 2's gut telling them about this situation? What is their gut telling them? Okay, so we got the 5 of Wands, we got the 7 of Wands. We got the 7 of Pentacles, and we got the Wheel of Fortune. So what your gut is telling you is that you are not going to be able to succeed at this task. You really, really can't. It's too much work. It's just too much that's been... it's too much that's expected of you. It's an unrealistic expectation. No matter how hard you try to make this work, it's not going to. You're not going to be able to get everything done. There's just simply not enough time to do the tasks that they've asked you to do. Even if you were an expert at what it is they want you to do, there probably wouldn't be enough time to get it done efficiently, or rather not efficiently, but there probably wouldn't be enough time to get it done perfectly. There probably wouldn't be enough time to get it done well. Let's just say that. There'd be corners that would have to be cut, even if you were good at what they're asking you to do, even if it was your specialty. Which is not to say that you can't make a go at this. You can't try, and you probably could do a decent job if you had the time to do it. But there are too many things that are stacked against you right now. There are just way too many things that are just not in your favor. You aren't familiar with what they're asking you to do. It's not what you're trained in. They really haven't given you enough time to do it all. There's just too much that's stacked against you. So what your gut is telling you is that you're just going to have to take your chances and tell them, whoever it is that's asking you to do this, you're just going to have to come clean with them, and you're just going to have to be upfront with them and say, this is not my area. This is not what I'm trained in. This isn't enough time to do this. I really feel like I can't do it justice. I can't get this done the way you want it to get done. Certainly not in the time that's been allotted. And I'm sorry if that, is frustrating to you or angering to you. But that's the truth. That's the way it is. So your gut is telling you you've got to come clean. You're not going to be able to accomplish this the way they want you to, their way that you would like to be able to accomplish it. If you were to take on the task, you feel like there's no way you can do this justice, and so you're going to have to take your chances and tell them, I can't do this. I just can't. There's no way I can get this done. I can't do it properly. I don't want to do a crappy job. So, your gut's telling you, take your chances, let them know, see how it comes out. Spin the wheel. It might end up being fine. They might end up saying, yeah, you're probably right. Don't worry about it. So, what advice are your departed loved ones or your spirit guides or whoever is bringing you messages, what advice are they bringing to you? What is the advice for Group 2, please? Okay, so we got the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Pentacles, and the Prince of Wands. So, so the cards, these cards, your whoever's bringing you messages is saying that trying to appease the people who are pushing you to do this task is not worth losing your happiness and your sense of of stability. It's not worth shaking your life up over. It's just not, the payoff is not enough. I mean, avoiding a little bit of discomfort to go and talk to whoever it is that's tasking you with this, avoiding that is not worth the stress and strife that it's going to cost you to try and get this done. So your whoever's coming through with messages is telling you that you need to go ahead and take the action. Just like rip off the Band-Aid. This is a just run with it. Go forward. Do what you need to do. Just take the initiative and go in and talk to them and get it over with. And it will save you a great deal of pain and strife, and you'll end up being a lot happier in the end, and you may actually gain the respect of these individuals because you came and you told them the straight story that if I try and do this the way that you've asked me to do it, it's going to end up bad, and it's not going to get accomplished the way you hope. It's not going to work well. So I just need to be honest with you. So whoever's bringing you messages is telling you, just do that. Take that action. Pull off that Band-Aid. Do it quick. Just go and do it and be done with it. And then you will be a lot happier. You can move on. And maybe they'll revise the task, maybe they will give it to someone else. Whatever the situation is, it will just be a lot easier in the long run, a lot less stress, a lot less worry. So whoever is coming through for you, your loved one, whoever is saying your life is short, it's not worth stressing over this, just tell them this isn't going to work. So Spirit, what is the best way for Group 2 to proceed? What is the best way for them to proceed now? The Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles we got. So the best way for you to succeed, this individual is catching coins in their dress. So you need to look out for yourself. You need to not put everyone else ahead of you. You need to do what works for you, what's right for you, what's best for you. You need to look out for yourself, nurture yourself, self-care. So, if this situation puts you in a lot of stress, then even though it might be tough to get out of this situation, that's what's going to be best for you. And that's the best way to proceed, is do what nurtures you in the long run. That's what you need to do to proceed. And Spirit, could you please give us some messages with regard to group number 2? What signs can they look for to know that they're on the right path? What signs can they look for to know that they're taking the right action, that they're going about things the right way? What signs can they look for from the universe, from their loved ones, from their spirit guides? What should they watch out for? Okay, so we got the King of Pentacles, we got the Three of Wands, and we got the Strength card. Let's see. Well, 2 of 3 of these are in an elevated position. So if you find yourself in your wanderings, perhaps, or anywhere, let's say you're driving in your car and there is a traffic jam and the cars are backed up for miles, and where you happen to end up being stopped is actually on top of a hill or on a bridge that goes over another road, somewhere where you're elevated above the rest. If that happens, you're sitting in your car, you're wishing the traffic would start moving, you're playing with the radio trying to find a good song, and all of a sudden you realize you're on this bridge that's above other traffic that's flowing below you, and you're stopped right there. That's a sign. That's a sign for you that you're going the right direction, you're doing the right thing, things are going to work out on this elevated position as is pictured on both of these cards. That may be it may be some other way that you are in an elevated position. It could be that you have a meeting, and when you get to the place, you look at the kiosk that tells where the office that you need to go to for your meeting is, and it ends up being on the top floor of the building. Perhaps you are at a gathering and you are talking to someone and you wander with them and you find yourself on a balcony. Any of those things are a sign that you are you're on the right track, you're on the right path. So let's see, what else? Also, there is, the wolf is baying at the moon. This is at night with the stars. This appears to be dusk, so nighttime there may be something that is apparent to you at nighttime. I'm hearing crickets in my mind. So if you are suddenly aware that there is, you're hearing lots and lots of crickets, that could be a sign to you, if that's something you don't normally notice, or if you're not somewhere where you can usually hear crickets, and you do, perhaps even on like a television show, you might be watching something on TV and suddenly realize that whoever the character is outside and there's crickets in the background. Spirit, can you give us some more cards, please? I'd like some more messages with regard to messages that Group 2 might see. Okay. So with this one, these two cards both have a castle tower on them. And these, these plateaus here also are reminiscent of, there used to be some hill-dwelling people used to build castle-type homes into the side of hills. If you are someplace where there is a picture of a castle or some sort of a castle motif on a building or a house or something, has, some sort of a castle turret kind of a thing on it, or maybe there's, like I said, a picture of a castle somewhere, or if you happen to be waiting in line at Starbucks at the mall or something, and all of a sudden you realize that the people who are sitting at the table near where you're waiting in line are playing chess, and you notice someone just takes someone's rook. So there's a castle that the piece has just been taken, or the piece has just been moved on the board. That's a castle. So if you see a castle, if you see the word castle, I know there's a television program called Castle, so if that happens to come on, or a commercial for that comes on, and you just happen to hear it, that's a sign to you that you are on the right path. This card, which doesn't seem to have any sort of a match to any of the others, does have a horse on it, so there could be something to do with a horse. There's a shield on there, there's a horse on there, so those could be signs that you might see as well. This girl is sitting on this wolf almost as though she's riding a horse, so perhaps if you see someone riding horses, that could be a sign that you're on the right path. There's also some fire in a couple of these, so something to do with fire. If you happen to walk past a candle and it goes out, or if there is some sort of a sculpture that has fire in it. If there's an outdoor fire pit that you go to a party somewhere, and when you get there you realize that everyone is sitting outside around a fire pit. That's also a sign that you're on the right track. So, Spirit, what outcome can Group 2 look forward to? What outcome? Thank you for these messages up to this point. Now, what outcome can Group 2 look forward to? Okay, so we got the Moon, we got the Eight of Pentacles, and we got the Hierophant. So, the outcome that I feel like you're going to get from this is that you're going to learn a lesson about yourself with regard to this. Perhaps you have been one who lets people walk over you too much. You don't feel like you have the strength of character, or you don't feel like you have the courage to stand up for yourself. But through this situation, you're going to learn, you are going to learn that you do have the strength. You're going to learn that your work is valued by whoever these individuals are that are tasking you to do this. That's probably why they asked you to do this in the first place, because they value your work ethic. They trust you. They think that you are a hardworking employee and that someone that they can count on. So through this situation, you're going to learn that you are valued, that you do have this. You know that you have a strong work ethic, but you're going to learn through this. You don't trust yourself that other people see this in you, but you're going to realize through this situation, through going to these people and saying, hey, I really can't get this done, I can't do this, and them respecting you with regard to that, you're going to learn that you do have value in other people's eyes, much more so than you ever realized that you do. So that's going to be the outcome of the situation for you. So let's take a look and see what card we got initially here before the reading, and see what this tells us. Okay, the Five of Wands. We got the Five of Wands here. So the Five of Wands is telling us that this is a card of some chaos, and so I feel like this card is saying that the situation you're in right now is definitely creating some chaos within your system. It's creating some upheaval, some stress, and so kind of going back to put a stop to this sooner rather than later. I think that's what this card is saying. And of course, the Pliers are saying, do the work. Use the tools that you have at your disposal and take the matter in hand, take the task in hand, do what you need to do, and just cut this off. There's the scissors in this card are almost look like they're covered in blood. It's not blood, it's paint, but it's very red. The situation is damaging you, and the longer it goes on, the more stressed you are about it. The more it's going to cost you this happiness over here that your departed loved one or spirit guide or guardian angel, whoever is coming through for you, wants you to maintain this happiness that you have. They want you to stop this situation sooner rather than later, so that you don't lose any more of your happiness, you don't lose any more sleep, you don't get any more stress by staying in this situation and worrying about not being able to get it done. So I hope that helps you with your week. I hope that everything turns out well for you, and thank you so much for being here with me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi, Group 3. This is your reading, the Bookmark reading. These readings are to help you with issues that you may have run up against during your week. So the first card that we need to get is a card to tell us what issues are you dealing with this week that you feel like you could use help with. So Spirit, for group 3, what issues are they dealing with this week that they could use some help with? Okay. So, we got the Two of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the Hanged Man. So you right now are dealing with some sort of a relationship disconnect. There is a situation possibly with a romantic partner, a spouse, or it could be a best friend, or it could be a boss or a superior at work for some of you. I'm feeling mostly, though, that this is more of a relationship love connection. You are currently feeling alienated in this relationship, like something is not working out. You're feeling some hurt by the relationship. It could be that there are expectations that have been put on you that you don't feel are fair. It could be that the other party is not listening to you. Regardless, it's making you feel like you're sort of in limbo in the relationship. Perhaps you've tried to talk about this and the other party in the relationship or in the partnership doesn't want to, they've refused to talk about things. Either they don't see that there's a problem, they don't feel that there's a problem, they won't acknowledge the problem, or maybe they just kind of have their head in the sand and they don't want to admit that there's a problem. But you are definitely feeling like there is a disconnect. I feel like it's perhaps communication has shut down. There's something that you feel hurt about. There's something that is something that you feel kind of wounded by, and the other individual in this relationship is basically kind of ignoring your concerns. So that's the situation that we're dealing with, group 3. So Spirit, what is group 3 hoping to accomplish with regard to this situation? What are they hoping to accomplish? Okay. We got the Seven of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Three of Cups. Okay, so what you are hoping to accomplish with this, you're hoping to get a better, you're hoping that the other person will see your side of things. You feel like you are sort of behind a door, you're peering out at them through this limited view, and they don't really see you at all. So you are hoping that they will get a better view of the situation, that they will open up and understand that you are feeling closed off from them because of something that they refuse to acknowledge, because of something they won't talk about. You're feeling very much closed off, and they basically have the key for this situation. So you're hoping that they will open up the communication, and that by doing that, that will bring you to a new place where emotionally you are more connected. It will bring the relationship back to a place where you feel like you belong together. You feel like it's worth pursuing. You feel like it's a good relationship. You want to celebrate with this person. You want to be happy with this person. So basically, you're hoping that they will open up to you, that they will understand and come to you. And by doing that, by opening the door and letting you in, that will renew the love in this relationship, or the happy emotion that's in this relationship. So that's what you're hoping to accomplish. So Spirit, what is group 3 doing that's working for this? What is group 3 doing right now that's working? What is group 3 doing that is working for this situation? Okay. So we got the Queen of Earth, we got the Hermit, and we got the Devil. So basically right now, what is working for you is by understanding that this disconnect that your partner has right now with you is not, it's something that it's very hard for them. It is a self-limiting belief that they have. It's the way they were brought up. It's, there's something there. There's a disconnect that happened long before this relationship started, and you understand that. You're kind of pulling back from them to give them space, and you're trying to be as understanding as you possibly can about this bad habit that they have, or this inability that they have to deal with what they've never been able to open up emotionally, perhaps, or maybe they have the idea that it weakens them if they talk about their feelings or talk about anything really that's a problem, or to even admit that there's a problem makes them seem less. So what's working for you right now is that you are kind of backing away and giving them space just to kind of work things out for themselves. You're trying to stay as connected as you can with them and be understanding, but you're not pressuring them, and that's what's working right now. That's what you're doing that is working. So, Spirit, for group 3, what are they doing right now that is not working? What are they doing that's not working? What is group 3 doing right now that's not working for them? Well, let's just throw all the cards on the floor. How about that? That's not working for me. Hang on just a second. Okay, so what we got, we initially got the 8 of Earth, and then we got the 10 of Cups. So what is not working right now is you're working too hard at trying to connect emotionally with this individual. You're pushing too hard to try and make them own up to their emotions, or understand their emotions, or feel, or communicate, or whatever it is. You're trying very, very hard to, you're working really hard to try and get them to open up emotionally. You are basically being the judge of what they need, what you think they need. You think that they need to admit that there is a problem. They need to open up to you and let you in, and so that you can soothe them. But the problem is that's not who they are. And by pushing any agenda that they need to be more emotional, they need to be more open, they need to talk with you right now, it's just going to cause them to shut down even more, because their processing of emotion is probably something that takes a lot longer, and they have to work through the whole situation, and it's something that's difficult and painful for them. So they're very stoic about everything. They don't like to admit that they have any faults. They don't like to admit that they have any weakness. So by trying to push them or work hard to get them to acknowledge their emotions, it's really causing them to shut down even more. So over here, what you're doing right is just sort of pulling back, but staying in the picture and understanding that this is really hard for them. What is not working is pushing to try and get them to open up and work through the issue right away. So that's what's not working. So Spirit, what is Group 3's gut telling them about this situation? What is their gut telling them about this situation? Okay. So we got the Two of Earth, the Queen of Cups, and the Ten of Wands. So this is saying that it's tough for you to hold back your emotions. It is difficult for you. Your gut is telling you that, it's important to stay in touch with your emotions, but it's also telling you that you're on precarious ground right now, and that this relationship is under a heavy burden. And so your gut is telling you that you need to be this nurturing individual, but in a very quiet, sort of a background way. You have to just be very accepting of any emotions, yours or the other individuals in this relationship. Because right now things are in the balance. Things are really, really very tenuous balance. And you're really not, the relationship is not on steady ground. And it's under a lot of weight right now. It's potentially, it has the fear of drowning. It's feeling like right now that there's a lot. And the individual that you're in this relationship right now is kind of feeling like just dealing with the issue at hand is about all they can take right now. And so if there's any more pressure put on them, or even if it's well-meaning, even if it's, I want to help you with this, what can I do to help, anything like that is going to make them feel like they need to make a decision right away, and they're just not ready to make that decision. They're not ready to open up yet. And so your gut is telling you that you just need to be this nurturing individual who is open at any moment when they want to talk. This is basically kind of the loving mother card, or one of the loving mother cards in the deck. So basically, you have to be open and available when this person is ready to talk, or if they need to talk, or even if they don't need to talk and just want you there. But by the same token, that doesn't mean always asking them, hey, how are you? What's going on? What do you want to do? What do you want to tell me? Basically this is that mom who always knows what their kids want without them having to ask. And this card is also saying that that your gut is telling you that his wounding that this situation is coming from, perhaps when he was a child, is something that's going to need a lot of nurturing and very tender handling, not pushing, not demanding, not pleading, nothing like that. It's going to take the understanding of a mother whose child has been hurt, to let that child get to a point where they feel safe enough that they can open up and not be afraid. And even though the other person in this situation is not a child, if they've been wounded, that's causing this inability to talk about things or this inability to admit fault, it probably happened when they were a very young child, and that's probably where the way they deal with things is kind of stuck now. So this individual, your gut is telling you to be the individual that's just there no matter what. Even when they feel like they did something that they screwed up, the more you try and make them own up to it, or the more you try and help them fix it, the more that makes them feel like they did something wrong. So just by being there, accepting whatever it is that they feel they need to do, until they get comfortable enough to move forward and to be able to work through some of this. You just have to be there to be this loving presence for them. Otherwise, things are going to get pushed out of balance, and the burden's going to get too heavy, and things will not turn out well. So, Spirit, what advice does Group 3's, whoever's coming through for them, want to give them? Be this their departed loved ones, their spirit guides, their guardian angels. What advice does the Spirit coming through have for Group 3? Okay, a lot of cards here. So we got a card, this is sort of an extra card in this deck. This is Living Waters Flow. So again, this card is saying your loved one or whoever is coming through is saying just to let things flow, let things progress at the speed that they will. You can't really push water. You can't really, you could probably build some sort of a device to push water if you needed to, but in a stream, you can't really stop the water. You can't really rush the water. You just have to let it flow through at the pace that it flows. And so whoever's coming through is telling you to let this situation run its course, to just let things develop in the time that they need to. Another extra card in this deck is the bridge. So, this card is saying be a bridge to this individual. You're not being the train that's going over the bridge. You just are the bridge. You are, you're there when they need to reach out, when they want to come across, when they want to meet you. You need to have that bridge in place so that they can. So just letting them know that you're there when they're ready to come across is going to be something that's really going to be helpful in resolving this situation. So let them come at their own pace, but when they are ready to come, you need to be there for them to be able to cross. That is going to be what creates the beginning of this new understanding, or this new relationship, actually, this new working together. This will be the start of being able to work together. Once this individual who is isolating you or isolated from you right now comes to the conclusion and the understanding that they can trust you to not push them, but they can also trust you to be there, then that's going to create a brand new place to work from together. This is just a very small ember, but it is the start. It's the start of being able to this individual trust you to always have their back. This individual, the King of Wands, this is saying that the other individual that's in this relationship, or you, have the ability to to make this relationship something that is the start or the progression of something that will work its way into a very productive relationship. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a relationship that requires work, actual physical work, and a lot of insight, which is going to require listening to each other and talking to each other, which is where things are kind of held up right now. So, letting things flow for this individual in their own time and being there for them is going to create a place that will start this spark, that's going to allow this creative and I'm also getting the feeling that part of the reason that this individual is pulling away and is so afraid of addressing whatever the situation or the whatever the issue is right now is because they are actually much more sensitive than most people know. They're very creative. They are, but they've not been allowed to be that way. And so when they feel like they might be judged about who they truly are, they sort of pull back into this shell. But by giving them the space to grow and the security to come out of this shell, this relationship is actually going to blossom into something that is not only like your wildest dreams, but it is going to be more than you ever thought that it could be. This is kind of your hopes and dreams. It's almost a place where you'd given up. But by giving this the time and the nurturing and the security that it needs, it's going to rekindle that dream, that hope, and it's actually going to come to fruition. And that's what whoever's bringing you this message, that's what they want you to know about this relationship. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to require patience and time and work. So, Spirit, what is the best way for Group 3 to proceed? What is the best way for them to proceed right now? Okay. So we got the Tower and we got the Magician. We got the Tower and the Magician. So the best way for you to proceed right now is to let everything that's been built up around this relationship, all of the things that you've come to know this relationship, the way that you've come to identify this relationship, the way that you see this relationship, let that fall away. It's not the truth of it. What you're seeing right now of this individual is this devil, these self-limiting beliefs, these fears, these bad habits, you're seeing the constriction that this individual has because of the fears that they have of being their true self, because of what they were told as a child. So you need to let your understanding of this relationship fall away. It's not true. It's not healthy. The way you have come to see this individual, the other person in this relationship, is not really who they are. And it's not really what the relationship is about. So by letting this fall away, by dropping the expectations that you have for this other individual, that will give you both the space to manifest a relationship that is productive, that is joyful, that is fulfilling. That will give you the space and the energy to make this relationship what it's supposed to be, what it needs to be, what it ideally can be. So you need to let go of your expectations of what this relationship is and let it become what it's always been supposed to be. So that's the way to proceed Drop your expectations of who this person is, of who you are in this relationship, of who the both of you are in the relationship, of what the relationship is in general. Drop that, let it fall away, and then be open and curious as to what really can come of this relationship when you really connect that way. So Spirit, what are some signs that group 3 could look for to let them know that they're on the right path? What are some signs that they can look for to let them know that they are doing the right things, that they are on the right path? What are signs for them to watch for? Okay. Okay, this is a whole lot of cards. Okay. We've got rainbows. Rainbows are a sign that you are on the right path. If you see a rainbow, know that that is telling you that you are going the right direction. We've got this Knight of Swords. I think I'm drawn to the beard. So if you're seeing somebody with a big woolly red beard, that's a sign that you are going in the right direction. We have spirals. Spirals is a theme here that I'm seeing. So also there's a spiral here. So if you are seeing anything that is a spiral, know that that's a sign that you're on the right direction. You're going the right direction. Let's see. We have got some red and white flowers, red, white, and pink flowers. So red, white, and pink flowers could be a sign for you. We have got some major arcana actually too. And crazy, happy faces, rainbow, and what is real are some extra cards in this deck that aren't actual tarot cards. They're just some sort of spare cards. So if you're seeing something, or if you get something that's extra, somebody pays it forward and they buy your coffee for you, you order 6 items and they throw in a couple of extras just in case one's broken. If you are going out for an evening and there is an extra chair at the table that you're sitting at, even though the entire place is completely full, that may be a sign that you're going on the right, that you're on the right path. Let's see what else. We've got balloons. So balloons could be a sign for you. I am definitely seeing the spirals though, so I would keep an eye out for spirals. So that could be a sign of something that is telling you that you're on the right path. So Spirit, what outcome can group 3 look for? What can they look forward to? What outcome can group 3 look forward to for this situation? Okay. All right, so we got the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is about starting, it's again, this card that we had about kindling a new flame. The Ace of Wands, the Page of Wands, very similar, but the Page of Wands is actually kind of moving even farther. The Page of Wands is saying that you're going to put this kindling of this flame into use. So this beginning of the understanding and the communication and the working together in this relationship is actually going to start you down a new path. It's actually, rather than just being a new state of this relationship, it's actually going to lead to action for this new relationship. It's going to lead the relationship forward. It's going to launch you into a new space. We got the Chariot. Again, this is about moving the relationship forward. This is about launching into a new place. This is about being happy together, sort of an unlikely companionship here, but very happy together and excited to move forward. So again, we're launching forward. We're moving forward, actual movement. The Justice card, things are going to become much more balanced for you. You're going to feel like things fit better, that things, there's not so much disconnect. It's going to feel like things are much more connected and balanced. And the Five of Earth, this is going to give you more of a sense of yourself, which is sort of unexpected with the rest of these cards. The rest of these cards are talking about building this relationship to be stronger, which will happen. This is going to be a starting of a new foundation for this relationship where it's going to be able to launch from, but it's also going to give you a much more it's going to give you more of a sense of yourself. It's going to give you more of an understanding of what you're capable of, who you are, what you bring to the world. By stepping back and allowing this other individual to kind of come to you at their own pace, you're going to gain more of an understanding of who you are and what you can offer, and how you can be this rock for someone that you look at perhaps as being the strong one in the relationship. You're going to gain an understanding that you can stand on your own 2 feet, which, even though it sounds kind of counterintuitive, that you learning that you can be on your own and stand on your own 2 feet, it actually will feed into the relationship, because it will allow the other individual to know that they too can stand on their own 2 feet, that they don't always have to be the strong one for you. Because once you come to this understanding that you can be strong in and of yourself, they will come to realize that you're not always going to be depending on them. And that may have been sort of a cornerstone of this relationship, that they may have always felt like they had to hold you up or support you or be the provider of the relationship. And that may have been something that on the outward appearances they liked, but in reality, going back to this, whatever this wound is that they may have from their childhood, it may be something that really puts a lot of pressure on them, and may not be willing to admit that. They may not be willing to admit that they would like to give up that responsibility or that pressure. But by just becoming stronger within yourself, and you wouldn't necessarily have to, go out of your way to tell them that. This is just something that's going to become more apparent to you, that you're going to become more secure in your own skin. You're going to feel stronger as a person. And so as you feel stronger, that gives them more opportunity to also be stronger, because if you're not being needy, then they don't have to always be attending to your needs. They can attend to their own. So that's the outcome that we can expect from this situation here. So let's take a look at the card that we pulled beforehand. Okay, so we got the King of Swords, the King of Swords. This card is telling us that the other individual in this relationship is going to gain a great deal of clarity. In fact, both of you probably will gain a great deal of clarity from working this situation through. from letting the situation actually develop through organically, rather than pushing it, rather than demanding a conclusion, rather than fearing that things will fall apart if you don't get it worked out right away. By allowing this relationship to stay together even through this difficult time of non-communication, this is going to foster a great deal more of clarity and actually communication too. This will bring about a tremendous amount of communication that you've never had in this relationship before. Even if this is a work relationship, I mean, I've kind of been talking like this is probably a couple of some sort type of relationship, but this could even be a work relationship, where you've just felt like you've not been able to talk to this other individual or explain what you need to this other individual. Working through this organic process and allowing it to take its time, and both sides seeing that that's something that you can allow to happen, and it's not going to upset anything. It's not going to take away anything or ruin anything. It's actually going to allow you to understand yourselves as individuals and then come back together to work together. There's going to be a great deal of clarity. There's going to be a lot more communication. So this is really a great card to finish this reading with. So I hope that this helps you through your week. I hope that this helps you even in the long run. But certainly as the week goes on with whatever this current issue is that you're dealing with. And I really, really appreciate your coming and spending time with me today. And I hope you come back. Thanks. Bye-bye.